in the dynamic landscape of gaming, trends come and go. Yet, amidst the rise of competitive multiplayer titles, a familiar force is quietly rising again. This is the inevitable comeback of PvE. Player versus environment, or PvE, has long been a cornerstone of gaming culture. It's about players banding together to conquer challenges presented by the game itself, rather than competing against each other. This also includes single-player games. PvE's roots can be traced back to the earliest days of gaming, from the cooperative gameplay of arcade classics to the cooperative missions of early console. Players found joy in tackling challenges together and, most importantly, trolling each other.
Hey, I'm gonna solve it, don't worry.
But what if I just...
You piece of shit. I don't need your help, except for that one thing.
The early 2000s marked a golden age for PvE gaming. Titles like Left 4 Dead, Borderlands, and Diablo captured the imagination of players with their intense cooperative gameplay and memorable experiences. World of Warcraft, for example, brought thousands of players together.
Let's do this! Leroy Dragons!
However, as the gaming landscape evolved, the spotlight shifted toward competitive multiplayer titles, eSport tournaments, and competitive ranking became the new frontier, drawing attention away from the cooperative spirit of PvE. Rise of eSport tournaments and competitive gaming scenes. The advent of eSport and the growing popularity of competitive gaming scenes reshaped the gaming landscape. Players increasingly gravitated toward the thrill of head-to-head competition. Drawn by the allure of recognition and rewards offered by competitive gaming platforms, with prize pools in the millions, everybody wanted a piece of that pie.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff again from the Overwatch team. Really exciting update for today because we're going to talk about competitive play. This is one of the top requested features from the community. A lot of people were wondering, are we going to have something in by launch? Well, it's very exciting for us to put the competitive play into the beta so we can start seeing it, feeling it, and getting your feedback. So we want to give you kind of a broad...
Game studios, keenly aware of shifting player preferences and market demands, began to prioritize the development of competitive multiplayer experiences. Many popular franchises, once known for their immersive single-player campaigns, have shifted their focus toward competitive multiplayer modes. Games like Call of Duty and Battlefield have increasingly prioritized PvP experiences, often at the expense of robust PvE content.
Turn us around now!
Modern Warfare 3 has perhaps the worst Call of Duty campaign I've played. It's shallow, dull, and plays less like the greatest hits and more like underbaked cover versions of missions past.
You know you've messed up big time if IGN calls your game bad, because you have to make something really terrible before IGN calls it bad. Also, player versus player games by nature are very replayable. With new opponent and teammate each game, the game stays fresh, unlike many single-player games. So why sell a game once when you can have a stable player base and you can sell them skins and battle pass each season, or even less each few weeks? Worst offenders of this are game sequels justified by the introduction of PvE experiences only for the game to be launched without PvE, and later the PvE being completely scrapped. Looking at you, Overwatch 2, you disgust me. All of this wouldn't be possible without the advancement in technology, particularly fuck it. Advancement in technology, especially in online infrastructure, facilitated seamless multiplayer experiences and paved the way for the explosive growth of competitive gaming communities. This technological progression further propelled the dominance of PvP-centric titles in the gaming market. After years of relative decline, PvE experiences are making a triumphant return, capturing the heart and mind of gamers worldwide. This comeback is not a mere coincidence, but rather the result of several factors. One of the driving forces behind the comeback of PvE is a shift in player preferences. Many gamers, fatigued by the intensity and sweatiness of PvP-focused titles,
everybody trying to be a streamer. Everybody TTV, YT, .kick, you know, like live or something like that. Yeah, that's what it does. And so you've got these kids, and it's like, you know, back in the day, you'd play a video game, and it's like you knew that it didn't really fucking matter how good you were at Smash Brothers. Like, you're still just playing a fucking video game. Who gives a shit? But like now, because you can play this game and make a bunch of money, you got these kids literally playing these games like their life depends on it. And like it elevated the entire, you know, the entire intensity of competition in gaming. And so like people that just want to play the game casually are getting queued into lobbies with these people, and it's like not fun for them. Like for example, like for me, for Fortnite, like I didn't want to have to learn like all of the like speed building stuff. Like I didn't like the gameplay of it. Maybe I could do it. I don't know. I didn't even try, to be honest. I didn't even really try. So it just didn't seem like it appealed to me because it felt too sweaty. So I just kind of gave up.
Started focusing on the money you can make from gaming.
I think a lot of people did with Fortnite. Yeah.
Player versus environment games provide just that. It's a break from the relentless pressure of competition and flaming in most cases. Here, players can enjoy shared victories and accomplishment, together with friends or just randoms. It's a return to the roots of gaming, where the focus is on simple, enjoyable entertainment, without the constant need to prove oneself at every turn. This switch in preference has also been proven by game studios. Game studios, notably the non-3As or quadruple A's trash that is Skull and Bones, are reminding us what is the purpose of a video game. Video games are supposed to be fun. You are not supposed to be sweating your balls off when playing. Helldivers 2 has almost no story. It's just landing on a random planet and killing a bunch of bugs with other people. It doesn't get simpler than that. Or does it? Because big game studios keep fucking that up with flops after flops. Another example is Palworld. These two recently published games are hopefully a slap to the big studios, so they wake up and go back to making fun games. While PvE experiences are reclaiming their spotlight, it's important to recognize that they are not here to replace player versus player. The return of PvE signifies a newfound equilibrium in gaming culture. It's not about one genre replacing the other. Rather, it's about embracing the diversity of gaming experiences available. Players now have the freedom to choose between cooperative adventures and intense competitive battles, creating a gaming landscape that caters to a wide range of preferences. Hopefully, game studios are going to look back at the flop of big studios and the wins of a smaller one that focused on the main fundamental element of gaming, that is fun and creativity. Just to be clear, I do not dislike PvP games. Matter of fact, my favorite game published recently is The Finals, which is a PvP shooter. It's actually a PvP shooter married to Teardown. It's a very fun game and it's a very creative game, also published by a small studio, Embark Studio. I would love to see more studios taking in consideration the PvE experience and not only focusing on PvP and just seeing the game as a cow money to milk each time and to milk us, the gamers. I would actually love to see more offline games as well. Hopefully, games like The Finals, Helldivers 2, Palworld are a proof that you do not need to be a big studio or AAA game to succeed. Make a good game, and the money will come. If you made it this far, first of all, thank you so much for watching and for your time. Let me know in the comments what's your opinion on the subject and if you think that the PvE is making a comeback, or if you would love to see more PvE games being made. If you like this video or if you want me to make more videos like this, please leave a like, subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching and bye bye.